Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the bloom on the grove. I was not singing. I was not. I know it looked like I was singing, but I was not singing. I was, in fact, just talking very loudly. That sounded very similar to a song in this movie. Today's movie is Batman Forever, starring Val Kilmer, Chris O'Donnell, Nicole Kidman, Jim Carrey, and Tommy Lee Jones. Now, after the disappointment that was Batman Returns, Tim Burton, the director, was booted off of doing another Batman movie, apparently because it was too dark. But I don't think it was because it's too dark. I think it's just because it didn't make any sense, but whatever. But a new director was hired to direct another Batman movie that, not Val Kilmer, what am I saying? Joel Schumacher, who was given the orders of making the movie more kid-friendly and more campy and more similar to the original 1960s show starring Adam West. And that's the big problem with this movie. That's the biggest problem that I could think of with this movie. The fact that there was just a drastic tone shift from the other two movies, especially Batman Returns, and that's the biggest problem. Not only is the tone just is shifted completely from the other movies, but the overall look of the movie is completely, it's changed drastically. Gotham City looks nothing like it did back in the other two movies. It looks bright and colorful and fun. It doesn't look dark, dramatic, grim, and look like it was overridden with crime. Hell, even some of the gangsters in this movie are like neon, like that blacklight neon. I don't want to explain it, but you know, whatever. Let's get to some of the actors in this movie. We have Val Kilmer replacing the role as Bruce Wayne. In fact, a lot of the cast members from the other movies are not actually in this movie. Only two actors from the original movies are actually here. That's Michael Goff playing Alfred and Pat Hingle, I believe, playing Commissioner Gordon. And Val Kilmer, he does an okay job as Batman and Bruce Wayne. He's not as great as Michael Keaton was in the other two movies, but, you know, you definitely know he's trying. Chris O'Donnell actually plays a very, natural, Robin / Dick Grayson. Dick. But, all kidding aside, he does play a very, you know, alright Robin. He plays very naturally, and you do believe all the stuff that he's going through. My only problem with Robin / Dick Grayson, Grayson in this movie is because it is that he's like 25. Like in the comics and in the cartoon, Batman, you know, he took in Robin after his parents were killed by a mob boss named Tony Zuko, you know, and, you know, he adopted him. Here, he adopts him, but the guy looks like he's 23, 24, 25 years old. You think he would probably be able to live on his own, but he adopts him? Like, the guy is, he's a grown-ass man. Like, either Batman's an idiot or a pedophile, or probably both, but, you know, whatever. But, like I said, Chris O'Donnell does a good job. We also have Jim Carrey playing the Riddler. Now, Jim Carrey in this movie, the thing is, I like him, and at the same time, I don't like him that much. The reason why I don't like him is because it's not really anything new that Jim Carrey has done before. And that's the thing I don't like about Jim Carrey in general. I do like him as an actor, but every movie he's in, like almost every movie, he's just playing Jim Carrey. Like, he's, you know, just being, you know, wacky, goofy, and stuff like that, you know, goofing around, making, you know, like, funny faces and stuff. And he does that here, and you're just like, is he playing the Riddler, or is he just playing Jim Carrey playing the Riddler? It's kind of confusing, but, you know, if you think about it, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I see where, yeah, that kind of does make sense. But the overall, you know, he is very entertaining as the Riddler, and he does play it very Frank Gorshin-like from the 60s show, but, you know, I can't separate Jim Carrey from, you know, playing Jim Carrey or the Riddler. I just can't. We also have Tommy Lee Jones playing Two-Face, and, you know, one thing, didn't Billy D. Williams play Harvey Dent, a.k.a. Two-Face, in the first movie? He wasn't Two-Face in the first movie, he just played Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent is Two-Face's, whatever. But, you know, wasn't Billy D. Williams African-American, and Tommy Lee Jones is white in this movie? Which is kind of it's very distracting. And the thing is, you know, you probably could say, oh, well, maybe Billy D. Williams didn't want to do the movie, or maybe he was busy at the time, you know, or something like that. But they could have at least gotten another African-American actor to play Two-Face in this movie, because it is really, like, extremely distracting in this movie. But Two-Face overall in this movie is so annoying. Like, he plays it very, he doesn't play it like Two-Face is played. He plays it very just annoying. Like, he doesn't play it like, you know, split personality like he's supposed to be. He, like, is just annoying. He laughs, like, constantly in this movie, and he's just annoying. Like, he laughs more than the Joker. That's how annoying he is. Like, I never thought I'd say that, but a Batman villain actually laughs more than the Joker. God, what have we come to? We also have Nicole Kidman playing the love interest in this movie, Dr. Chase Meridian. And this is probably one of the only, Batman love interest that actually has a point to be in the movie. She plays, Bruce Wayne's psychiatrist in this movie, and she basically is trying to wonder, you know, like, what's going on in Bruce Wayne's head, and we finally get to, you know, see more reason of why Batman became Batman other than his parents just got shot, like I explained, like, that's how explained in the first Batman movie, and she actually has a purpose to be in this movie other than to be saved, even though she's, you know, constantly being saved. But, you know, the acting in this movie overall is good. It's not the best, but it is, you know, good. Now let's get to some of the other things. Now, the plot holes. The plot holes in this movie, there's a few minor little things in this movie. One is, why don't they just kill Batman? Like, later in the movie, Two-Face and the Riddler, they basically storm the Wayne Manor. They break into the Batcave and they find out that Bruce Wayne is in fact Batman. And that's one of the biggest problems I have about when villains find out the true identities of the superheroes that they're fighting. Like, you know, that it completely is, like, over. Because, like, you know, what are they gonna possibly do after that, unless it's, like, the final, like, comic or final movie or anything like that. It's just, like, too big of a plan that a villain, you know, does, if you understand what I'm saying. And they get Bruce Wayne, and Two-Face is, like, ready to shoot him, and then, you know, like, Riddler goes to him and says, you know, something along the lines of, you know, if you kill him, it won't be any fun, and stuff like that. I'm just saying, I was just there saying, no! Shoot him! Just shoot him! You know, end it! You came here, you stormed his house, you stole his girlfriend, shoot him! You are the villains, shoot him! Be smart. For the Riddler, who considers himself to be so smart, he's the dumbest here. Like, no, kill him. Just shoot him in his head. Done. Just done. Do that. Also, I really hate the title of this movie, Batman Forever. I just never understood why it was called Batman Forever. Yes, I do know that later in the film, Bruce Wayne, you know, he's like, you know, I'm not going to be Batman anymore. And then he's like, oh, this new villain, I'm going to be Batman Forever. You know, that's so his name. But that's not like, you know, he's Batman for, like, not Batman for a while, and then he becomes Batman. He's not Batman for a day. For, like, literally a day, he is not Batman. So that title is completely just forced in there just for the sake of forcing. They could have called it Batman 3. I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of a cheap title, but at least yeah, that's what it is. It's the third Batman movie, duh. You know, here, Batman Forever is just in there just to be in there completely. It's just not, stupid. Now, one compliment I will give this movie is that if you're a parent and you're wondering whether or not which Batman movie to show your kid, I would go with this Batman movie because it doesn't really have too much violence or too much, you know, sexual innuendo or anything like Batman Returns or Batman and Robin does. But yeah, I would basically, you know, show your kid that. That is something I do have to say about this movie. Another thing about this movie is that it's really entertaining. I will say that. The action in it is pretty good for the most part, but, you know, it is, you know, still, you know, goofy and stuff. And like I said, that's the big drawing point and the big problem of the movie. It's just very, very goofy and very, very, you know, silly. Very just incredibly silly, you know. Which, it's not as silly as Batman and Robin, which I sadly have to review next time. So, overall, Batman Forever is definitely not the worst Batman movie. We all know what that one is. But it is a pretty, it is, still a movie, but it still is overall a good movie. So I'm going to give it I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 Batarangs. I think that's definitely the best. 7 out of 10 Batarangs. So, yeah, I'm done with my Batman Forever review, so tune in next time when I have to review Batman and Robin. I don't wanna. Give me 5 more days. I don't want to review this. I don't. I don't wanna. The movie sucks. I don't want to, but I have to with this Bat Month. I hate Bat Month. Whatever. See you next time. Batman and Robin.